Greetings, Raven lovers, artists, and other crazy people. Welcome to a new art adventure, or rather, an old one. Some of you might know that I have started with this artwork last year, but couldn't finish it because my tablet stopped working. And after I got a new one, my shoulder pain could not be ignored any longer. And before some of you say, "Hey Tara, where's the other video that you made a whole poll for?" I'm working on it. This video is meant to give you some updates about certain things, including that bigger project.
So you're throwing out something of less effort in between to cover the fact that you're behind schedule. As usual.
What? No. Everything is going according to plan. Sort of. To be completely honest, guys, I never knew if I could manage to bring that video out right after the Raven one. At least not if I wanted to keep my uploads in the once per month rate. This video requires a bit more prep work than the one that you are currently watching. If I only have footage of the art process, I simply need to come up with something to talk about, write a script, record a voiceover, and then edit everything. And that alone sometimes takes me multiple weeks. I am a slow artist, I have other things in my life, and my body is preventing me from working for a longer period of time, which means I need to take a lot of breaks. It is annoying, I swear. And the other video simply has a lot more going on. It will be the same kind of workflow that I already had for part 1 of my making of. And then I thought, hey, perhaps it's interesting for some of you how exactly I make videos like that. I will also talk about some other things and, of course, the art in the background.
Which is not at all related to the topic of this video.
I will not create an artwork fitting for an update when I have already finished footage sitting around in my video folders, thank you very much. Plus, I really wanted to finish this piece. There were some moments where I was really unsure about it. Pulling off this expression while also keeping the facial structure of Karlach recognizable was so hard. The mouth constantly looked wrong and I'm still not entirely sure about it. But when I was finally a bit further in the process and got to mess around with the lighting, I had an absolute blast. But more on that later. So instead of just updating you about the current situation, I thought it would be fun to also talk about...
You already said that. Just get to the point already.
Okay, jeez. It's not so easy to come up with a good segue. But that brings me to one of the first obstacles in a big project like my making of or the CusCon video. I do have a lot of talking head parts in these. Those? I always forget which word to use when. If you have a way to remember that, let me know about it in the comments, please. Anyways, this plus footage where I mention something on camera while you just see my hands requires me to plan my script around that. I need to find good ways to segue into these parts. And for my making of, which was a digital production, I sometimes recorded things twice. With my camera, so you can see my hand on the tablet or a shot from a different angle of me sitting on a tablet. But at the same time, also with OBS. This way I can switch between a screen recording that lets you see the process a bit better and the other shots, so you get more visual interest. But both of these things, the switching and the talking head parts, mean that I need to re-watch all the footage to make decisions on where to put which shot and listening back to what I said in which clip, so I can incorporate that into the script. So before I even write a script, I make an outline, a plan on which clip to put where, and make some notes for specific ideas I have. Then, and only then, I start with the actual script. Sometimes I also let my scripts get proofread, but there's not always enough time for that left. And then I can start to put everything together. What I also did for my making of was to split the video into different parts to edit. The intro, the next section, and so on. All were edited separately. The video was very long, and in case everything would go wrong, I wouldn't lose the progress of the entire video and just need to restart that one section. After these parts were all done, I could just assemble them, put our avatars on top, and then that was it. For the CutsCon video, I have a bit of footage from my booth and the artist alley, plus me doing a lot of prep work. For that, I also need to make a plan on how to organize the clips and how to segue into talking head parts. In both cases, I want to have a fun viewing experience and tell you an exciting story that you want to know the end of. So I hope that gives you an idea on how long a video like this takes me and why. That's why I made the vote on which one to come out first, because it's likely that you need to wait until next year before the other one comes out. So I wanted to make sure I bring out that one first that most of you are more eager to see this year. There's of course the possibility that I still manage to bring the other one out this year, but I can't promise that. It also depends on my whole working situation, how much time I can dedicate to create videos. I am back in a mini-job position now, which leaves me with more time as I usually go to work once per week. I really enjoy to have more time for art and videos at the moment, but sometimes I need to hop in for someone else. In these cases, I have a bit less time throughout the week, and since I am multi-passionate, there are always so many projects happening at once. Plus, there is the shoulder situation. First, I thought it's just a pinched nerve, then I was scared that it could be a bursitis. How do you pronounce that word again? Bursitis? I forgot. Whatever it was already chronicle because it already lasted for months and sometimes was worse. Sometimes I felt like it was getting better, only to come back later. So I went to my doctor who told me that it might come from my spine. So I got prescribed with physiotherapy and I would say it was helping. Especially after 2 weeks of vacation, it feels so much better. Sometimes I can even lie on my right side again, which was not possible before. Sometimes it still hurts, usually when I tap too much on the keyboard or on my phone. For drawing, I have found some solutions to make it more comfortable for me. I now have the option to switch between sitting and standing, no matter if I draw traditionally or digitally. Of course, I also need to take a lot of breaks. Sometimes just after a couple of minutes, which sucks. But at least I can draw. So naturally, I was super excited to finally have more time for all of my creative projects, like my Karlach fan art. Like I already mentioned, I was really having fun with this after a while. There was an evening where I was so in the zone that I worked until approximately 4 AM. I wasn't feeling tired at all. Animating the lighting on Karlach's hair gave me some headaches though. This is where the need for sleep finally kicked in, and I decided to give this another shot later. Overall, I must say I'm really proud of this one. For now at least. That might change pretty quickly. There are a couple of things here and there that could be better, of course, but art is not about perfection, even though some of us artists sometimes forget about that. For my current skill level in digital art and animation, I think my Karlach turned out quite good. What do you think?
Okay, first of all, I'm really sorry that I don't look like a decent human being right now. It's just, I quickly need to record this because that part is not in the script, since I was kind of delusional enough to think that the whole thing would be finished at the end of this video. But something just hit me while working on this. Not just have I a lot of adjustments to do for parts that are still moving that shouldn't move because I was a bit stupid with the layerings. There are still so many details to add that I didn't think of anymore. I just completely forgot them. I blended that out of my system somehow, and yeah. Karlach has all of these little dangly bits in her hair. Little coins and braids and whatnot. And not only do I need to add them, I also need to make them move with the rest of the hair. Probably not as strongly because braids are a bit, even tiny braids, they usually have a bit more weight to them, and especially if you have little coins on them, it will have more weight, so it wouldn't move as much. But still, there needs to be another layer of hair here where I can add all of the dangly bits. And also the horns need to have way more texture to them, I guess. There are way more details on them. I will try to blend in an actual picture of Karlach right here to show you. But yeah, there are those little lines that go through the horns, like in, real life horns. And also the bottom part is something that I didn't pay that much attention to just yet. There's still just so much. So I think what I'm going to do is, for the final reveal, I will just make it in a way that it still looks finished, but like a simplified version, simplified for the sake of animation and my sanity and my physical health. But eventually I would really love to get this done. Anyway, so I will try to get more shading done in the hair, like more darker shades and stuff and whatnot. And perhaps some detail at the horns. Perhaps a little bit here. Let's see how much I can get done. And then I will just call it a day. And this is what you then get to see, hopefully, in the final reveal. I would still love to one day finish it off with more details, but I want to take more time for that. And currently, I don't really have a deadline for that, but on the other hand, I want to get the video out before the month ends. And it's already the 20th of July. And yeah, I wanted to get this out before August hits. So, yeah. And the problem is I also have another project that actually has a deadline, which is on the 27th of July. So I don't have that much time anymore, and there's still so much to do for that. And due to my physical condition, I have to take a ton of rests. Sometimes I even need to take a whole day off from drawing. And yeah, no, no matter how I try to see it, this will not be completely finished if for the time when I want to get the video out, if I keep pursuing that goal of making her look exactly as detailed as in the game. It's just not going to be possible. So you have to forgive some liberties here, but I will make it in a way that it still looks finished. Perhaps it still already looks finished for some of you, but not to me. I think I can still hit some areas here, hopefully. But yeah, whatever it is, what you will see at the end of this video will count as the final result for now. If I ever finish it with more details on it, you will also get to see that, probably in some sort of a short or something, I don't know. But you will get to see that when I get to it. But I still have the editing to do, I still have the thumbnail to make, which also involves drawing. So yeah, I need to be a bit more realistic here and just give my body a bit more rest, because otherwise it would just, yeah, that won't work out. Anyways, I start to ramble too much, so we will cut this short. This video is probably already too long. Or was that the video that had a really long script? Or was it the other one? No, I think this one wasn't that long, but I still have some bloopers in it. So, anyways, I don't even know which part of the video I will put this in. Perhaps towards the end, right before the reveal or something? I don't know. Sorry for the bad quality. We'll just get to whatever part of the video is now and buy from Future Terra, which is also not in the future anymore as soon as you watch this. But anyways, back to the actual project.
By the way, I finally own the game, guys, and I am addicted! So expect a lot of Baldurs Gate 3 and D&D related artworks to come out in the near future. I have quite a few in my mind already. If you know the game, let me know who is your favorite character. I love to have long-winded discussions about my special interests. If you have watched any of the previous videos, you might know that I especially love Gale, but I also adore all of the other characters in their own way. Oh, and what is your favorite act of the game? I would say for me it might be Act 1, but I'm not sure. Act 2 is really cool, but there are a few issues that I have with the timeline of the story for some of the characters. There are parts that really confuse me, even though I have only so far watched part 2 and 3 and not played it myself. Storytelling-wise, Act 3 might have the most problems, especially with one of my favorite quests, unfortunately. For those of you who know that part of the game, I mean the Ansur quest. It is so cool, but the timeline is really flawed and stops making sense if you start to think about it too much. If you want to discuss something like that in the comments, please remember to mark your comment with a spoiler warning for those in the audience who still want to play it themselves. I'm definitely hyped for your opinions. Yeah?
This script is all over the place. Do you have any idea how to name that video?
Drawing Karlach from Baldurs Gate 3 while giving an update about my current situation and obsessing about Baldurs Gate 3?
A bit long, isn't it?
Maybe, but something like this. Just shorter.
You have no clue, do you?
Nope! But hey, you guys already know what the title is, so you could tell me what you think of it, or if you have better ideas. For now, I really need to get back to the big video and to some other projects. Until then, thanks for watching, enjoy the final result, and as always, keep grading and stay nice to Ravens. Bye!